probably. No, it still shows hosting a move. Why is it doing that? Live. What? What the hell? Okay, there we are. We are live. Share. Free fries and small and drink when you buy a chicken bacon Swiss sandwich. That doesn't sound good at all. Chicken bacon Swiss. Doesn't sound good to me right now. Not from Arby's, anyway. Really, I don't think I've had their chicken. Well, yeah. I don't eat that. Not ready. I was using the bathroom. I'm just seeing your message from when you tried to call. Okay. Alright, well, it's shared on Facebook. And I only briefly scanned these notes, just barely, on my phone yesterday. So, sorry I'm not terribly with it. This camera is so far down. Yeah, 2 quotes each again. It's a really long lead-in before getting to the point, but I mean, I know you like doing it, so. No. I think it's just an author. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know who that is. Yeah. Violence. What? If you want to do it again, fine. If you want me to take it because it's the long one, we could switch. Okay. It's fine. Although, do you want to trade orders too because you always open? He said to them, "When I sent you forth without a money bag, or sack, or sandals, were you in need of anything?" "No, nothing," they replied. He said to them, "But now one who has a money bag should take it, and likewise a sack, and one who does not have a sword should sell his cloak to buy one. For I tell you that this scripture must be fulfilled in me, namely, he was counted among the wicked, and indeed what is written about me is coming to fulfillment." Then they said, "Lord, look, there are 2 swords here." But he replied, "It is enough." Luke 22:35-38. You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, offer no resistance to one who is evil. When someone strikes you on your right cheek, turn the other one to him as well. Matthew 5:38-39. So let's talk about the right of gun ownership. Hello, I'm September. You can follow me on Twitch and Twitter at 9 of 12 and hear me on the Geek Girls podcast. Now, Heresy and Hearsay also has a Patreon site. You can find it at patreon.com/Heresy and Hearsay. Please visit, support us. $2 a month goes a long way to help us keep making this show. You can also contribute with bits in Twitch or subscribe for free if you have Amazon Prime. I find the whole "we have God-given rights" thing argument to be always annoying and silly, and I mean, no, I just don't think that's how that works. Yeah, just because you were born, you're not entitled to just do everything and anything, and free will. I mean, you can't just go around murdering someone, and that's in the Bible too. So, but people use that God-given right thing to argue against any government, like super right-wing libertarian, like nobody can make any rules to restrict me on anything because God just gave me the right. And they say it about everything, and to say it about guns is just a tool of violence is wildly ironic.
games.
Oops, sorry. Nope. I haven't been watching the news very much. I use Twitter even less. Yike. Mm-hmm. Yeah. there's an awful lot of women who do this. Like, I need to be able to protect my family, and I'm like, that someone is going to come into your home and, you know, shoot your family or harm your family in a way that you're going to be able to protect them with a gun. It is incredibly, incredibly unlikely relative to the danger percentage increase of you bringing a gun in your house that one of you is going to shoot the other or themselves. Like, it's just statistically true that if you bring excuse me, a gun in your house, someone's likely to get shot with it, and way, way, way more likely than an intruder's going to shoot you. So that justification, it just always makes me nuts. But I'm a responsible gun owner, you know, or just stop. Right? And I mean, unless you're involved in some kind of gun violence, right, or to begin with, nobody's coming in your house just to shoot you. If somebody's coming in to rob you, let them have your stuff. Just stuff. Protecting your stuff, is it worth killing someone else even? I mean, you don't know their story. See, in my house we have like the chainsaw defense, so because you think nothing's gonna chase somebody out like a gun going right. We have an electric chainsaw and it's just plugged in, you know, over in the den, and if I hear somebody coming in, and you think nothing makes them run like that, chainsaw firing up, it has the added bonus of when you call the cops, they can follow the trail of shit they left behind. And it's a whole lot safer. Like, nobody's gonna, you know. But nothing says get the hell out of my house. Oh no. And almost especially not. I mean, you've got mental health, you know, volatility in adolescent ages. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the good guy with a gun myth is a whole nother. We've talked about that in reference to mass shootings, but we can talk about it, here too. That's not statistically relevant to this. It's my God-given right. Horse shit. Oh yeah, and bars. They do a lot of that here in North Carolina. These laws where making sure you can have your gun at church and you can have your gun in the bar, which is nuts. But I don't understand people. I don't know. I can't wrap my brain around somebody acting like it's a good Christian thing to do, to have a weapon that is simply designed to kill another person, and then pull a God-given right tack into it. The whole thing kind of falls apart very easily. That's not the message it's supposed to, in your holy book. It's not the message to be spread. It's not how you're supposed to act toward anyone. Why? How do they keep doing it? It just seems like it's a phrase. It doesn't mean anything to say it's a God-given right. Like Sarah Huckabee Sanders, was saying God-given right because, like I said at the beginning of the show, they use that a God-given right about anything and everything. It's just an entitlement of God gave me the right to do anything I want, and you're just trying to take it away. With the swords, yeah. And then there's the horrible synagogue shooting. I know, but it's the same God. So it's interesting they're using this Bible stuff to justify bringing the guns in the churches, even though the Luke passage is very much, I will provide for you. You weren't wanting then. It's, I got you, Interesting. I feel I feel like reading that passage as well. It's almost like like a text conversation was going on and somebody didn't get the tone of voice. Right, where he's saying like, okay, so I sent you forth before, and you didn't have anything, and you didn't have any wants, right? You were provided for along the way. People took care of you. It was like, yeah, no, we didn't need anything. It's like, but now one who has a money bag should go and like sell your cloak to get a sword. Like I feel like he's saying it that way. Like you're all saying, oh no, we need to arm ourselves, and I'm giving this example to you of, look, you were provided before. Don't do this. And he's like, but look, there's swords. It's enough. Like, it just feels like there's a whole different tone that could be read in, and it completely changes the meaning. Right. But people are taking it as, it is enough! Like, we'll take them all out with two! Right? Which is kind of absurd. Regulated militia. Mm-hmm. Well, and they tie it like God mentions. One of the few mentions of God in. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's interesting. We do have a question from somebody in the chat room. Can I not be heard? Hello? Hello? We have a problem. Hey! Can you hear me? So you can hear me and he can't. Alright. This is going to be a bitch to edit later. I'm here and you can't hear me. Don't swear. We have an explicit tag, and yes, we do swear. So sorry about that. Deal with it, or don't. Kinda not a problem. You must have me muted on your end. Okay, we're back. No, I am not necessarily Christian. Daniel is, Reverend Barney is, and it's to say Christians don't swear is kind of ridiculous. But anyway, the question was about how is it a God-given right to bear arms, and you did post an article in our notes that I found very interesting, and it's kind of a thing that's been done where tying the Declaration of Independence statement about all men are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights has been used to include the right to self-defense. I mean, the Declaration of Independence very carefully does not mention God very often, but it does have this reference to the Creator, and so it's kind of just been stretched into this, what those rights are. And that's where that whole God-given right to bear arms seems to be being traced back to, along with, you know, the passage we've been talking about from Luke 22. Oh, you sound so sick. I know. Well, I know because Rob reminded me yesterday. It's the same as my cousin. What, Thursday? I don't know. Oh! Oh, see, that's fun. You're a poo-poo. You're just mad because it's your day. Yeah. Okay. Aw. I think you should embrace that because you have a specific collection of a type of people as your friends that do enjoy it. Like, how could you... That's a wonderful color to have in your life, isn't it? There are so many people that don't even know it's a thing. You're lucky enough to have all us weirdos. Oh, well, that's cool. Okay, yeah, we probably should get back on it because we don't want to take too much longer so you can rest your voice there. And this is going to be a bitch to edit. Like, you couldn't hear me, and I kept talking, and I'm like, what? I'm hitting my mic. I'm like, is this thing on? And that's all going to be in the recording? Yeah. It wouldn't last long. Yeah. Well, stop using God for it. It's stupid. That doesn't jibe with turning the other cheek. It just doesn't. Period. So stop being hypocrites. Well, seems right on track with, reality. But these people are not living in reality. They do want, I swear they want that Old West thing, and they think they're going to be some kind of hero, and they're just ending up with, their toddler dead having played with their gun. So. Okay, so David Byrne, who is a wonderful human being, I recommend his book highly, The Bicycle Diaries, has started another positive news website. We've, this isn't unique by any means, but, or by any measure, I don't know. Sorry, my brain's not fully on today either. We had that other site we referenced a few weeks ago, but this one is reasontobecheerful.world. It's calling it a fire engine for the soul, but it's very much there's so much social media overload and the news cycle and just a constant bombardment with horror and terror and shootings every day, and so you can go to reasonstobecheerful.world and see nice stories about how dead plants are powering Stockholm, parks being put into inner cities. Just positive stories about art, education, treating loneliness, ecology, just that there is good in the world. You can find many wonderful examples of it at that site. Like actionable items, yeah. I have a friend participating in it. Yeah, and they'll be eligible for COBRA, but they're not going to be getting paid. I mean, this is what happened. Their contract expired, but the union, the strikers are fighting for terms in the contract, and some of it, I do know a bit about it. Like I said, my friend John is participating in it, and I always pay attention to this sort of thing. My mother worked for GM for decades and retired from there. But a lot of it is GM took a big cut. Like the UAW went ahead and the workers had decided in 2008 when we had the bailouts, for instance. They took a lot of reduced benefits. A lot of compromises were made with being able to hire more temporary workers, but like temporary is very much in quotes. I mean, they keep these people forever. They just don't give them the same level of benefits as full-time workers. You know, they let things be restructured, and our economy was very much saved. GM paid that money back to our government. You know, it helped stabilize our economy, and now our economy is doing it's much more healthy. GM is making a ton of money, and all of the workers are stepping up within the union and trying to win back better benefits and you know, more outright workers' rights for, you know, a certain contingent of the workers that just don't get everything, right? So even if you've got good seniority and the best tier benefits, you know, they're walking out to stand up for their fellow workers that made all these sacrifices. So I'm very pro-union, in case you can't tell. And yeah, the company's pulling this dick move because they did say they were going to go ahead and let the benefits extend through the end of the month while the strike was, you know, because basically, I mean, they strike, but they're renegotiating the contract, and it usually doesn't last very long. But no, they went ahead, they lied. They just cut them off. So now, if they want to keep their health benefits, they have to pay COBRA, so they don't have a break in coverage. Yeah, there's a huge, we could do a whole show on unions. Because the racial justice history is very interesting. So anyway, arrow in their quiver. He's got it backwards. Nope, just let me know when they're up so that I can pull the audio and put them on our Patreon site and our website and stuff. I'm September. You can follow me on Twitch and Twitter at 9of12. That's NINEOF12. And hear me on the Geek Grills podcast. Thanks for listening today, and bless your hearts. The bumper didn't play through. I'll have to check the recording for it. Okay, so while you were talking and couldn't hear me, that's going to be a bitch to edit. We had somebody in the chat who started asking questions and hadn't been there for the beginning of the show. And I'm trying to answer them, and they could hear me, and you couldn't. Yeah, and they're like, please don't swear. I thought you were Christian. I'm like, we have an explicit tag deal. Like, sorry. Like, and if you think Christians don't swear, I got news for you. Like, so, like, there's a lot of that in the recording. I'm going to have to figure out how to cut out, because you were like, you just kept talking, and I couldn't interrupt you. And I'm like, it's going to be really interesting. So this guy's like, you know, the right to self-defense is very little to do with the right to bear arms. It sounds like a stretch to me. And I was like, we discussed that, you know, the right to self-defense earlier. How do you jibe that with turn the other cheek? And so my role here is political experience. My faith isn't the issue. And they left. I mean, their name was Ball Torture, so right? Don't swear, I thought you were a Christian. Like, that's just so funny. The internet is so weird sometimes. I mean, it came in and was like, hey, I have a question, may I ask? I was like, you may. And it was like, how is it a guy given right to bear arms, or is that just a figure of speech? So it was all like perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable ball torture. We name the episode that. I'm gonna end the stream.